Hey guys, how are you? It's Care. What are you talking about? 2.0. Today's pod all about going with your gut, going with your instinct, and when you don't, what happens? Oh man, you've been there. Of course you have. You knew you shouldn't have. You felt it. You felt that twinge, but you did it anyway. Going with your gut and recognizing that feeling is so important because so many times in my life, and I'm sure we all have done this, you knew you shouldn't have, but you didn't listen. So that's what today's about. And again, not a psychologist, not a doctor, late 40s, starting over. And I'm going to be talking about all kinds of things on this pod. It's a little bit of a new version, okay? Careers, relationships, parenthood, health, mental health, inner child healing, stuff in the news. I'm going to have friends on, some experts if I can, all of that. So let's have a good year together. All right, back to the task at hand, going with your gut. Why don't we pay attention and listen all the time? I know I haven't mastered it, but I might be getting more in tune with it and paying attention a little bit more so I can actually catch myself quicker, not right off the hop. I'm still not at the point where I go, whoa, red flag or a no feeling. And then I respect it. No, I still go through things all the time and go, oh man, I should have listened. Are you like this too? Are you like this? You go, oh man, you know what? I knew that wouldn't work. I had a feeling this wasn't right. Yeah, no kidding. And we end up wasting our time. We end up hurting ourselves sometimes. We end up hurting other people sometimes and wasting their time. So it's a bunch of stuff. So we have to start, I do. Maybe you do too. Just picking up on the signals like, whoa, stop. I want you to think back to one of the times in your life, one of many, I'm sure, where you were put in the position where you had a choice. And had you listened to your gut, had you listened to your instinct, it would have been better. Okay? I can't even count on 20 if I had 20 hands. So think back to that moment in time when you went, and then afterwards I went, see, I knew it. So think back. And why is it though, guys? Why is it that it takes us so many times over the years to finally start listening to our gut or instinct? Why does it take so long when we know the feeling? Why did we say yes? I'll tell you why. I think, again, not a psychologist, I think we say yes because we're hopeful. We always think, you know what, maybe. It's funny how when our friends come to us and they say, you know what, I'm thinking about doing this or that and the other, and our instinct for them is like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. It's like we can pick up on it for somebody else, but we're honest with them, but we're not honest with ourselves. It's so easy to give other people advice, right? You know what, Carol, I got the no vibe. Okay, well, whatever you want, but I'm just saying, I don't think so. In my, my instinct is to say no. And then Carol goes, but because when we're kids, in my life anyway, maybe you too, we were always told, my mom and my parents, which is normal, to just try things. Just try it. Give it a shot. At least you could say you tried, right? So that kind of transfers over to a lot of other things in life where we actually don't have to say we tried. Because if it's a no feeling, you don't have to say, well, at least I tried. Some things in life are very obvious to stay away from. There's no, instinct or gut. Our gut and instinct at the edge of a cliff is, don't go too close to the edge. That's a no-brainer. But some things in life, you don't know. You want to test the waters and see how it will maybe be. But you did get that feeling of no. Why enter something in life if you've got that gnawing feeling that you shouldn't do it? It's because we all think maybe we should just give it a shot. Maybe. So what is gut instinct? It's not to be confused with intuition, by the way. Gut instinct is the physical reaction you have to the world around you and inside of you. Intuition is more spiritual, the spiritual connection. They're interconnected, but they're different. So gut and instinct, physical, intuition, spiritual. Now that I'm addressing this gut and instinct, which I've always been aware of, but I'm thinking over the years how many times I should have listened, because boy, oh boy, it sent me down a rabbit hole of garbage. And you know what? I shouldn't say garbage all the time. I actually feel sometimes that I've wasted other people's time based on the fact that I didn't go with my gut. You know, that seems right to me. It's like, man, if I had just said no, I would have saved them a lot of time. And this has happened to me recently, where I do feel like responsible. I should have just said no. But again, back to, I've always been one to just try things. Also a bit of a people pleaser, okay? Which I'm also trying to shake. So pay attention to these signs when it comes to gut and instinct. So easy to just rattle these off, but whether we do anything about them when they come up is another thing. All right. A sudden feeling of dread or fear that is out of context. You know what I mean? So it's like all of a sudden, for some reason, somebody says something or suggests something and your first reaction is, oh, and it doesn't make sense because all they're doing is suggesting something that's kind of positive sounding. But if you feel that dread for some reason, that's your instinct. That's your gut saying, not a good choice. Not a good choice. Don't do it. A strong urge to do something or pull something or just do anything else when somebody suggests something or you're in a situation. That's a gut thing. Then there are situations where it's like hypervigilance, like all of a sudden you're on high alert. For some reason, your spidey senses have gone way up. That's because something physically is telling you that it's a no-no. Don't do it. Don't go there. Don't accept this job offer. Don't talk to this person. Don't go in the car with this person. Don't go on a date with this person. All of these things, had I paid attention to my gut and my instinct. And you know what? Think of something some situation that you've been in where you're like, had I just paid attention, I would not be in this situation. And here's my favorite. Sometimes it's just this simple. There is a voice in your head and in your heart saying, do not go there. Do not say yes. Yeah. Do not follow. Don't. And it's clear in your head. And man, I've had that voice and I still go, shut up. Can't be that bad. Won't be that bad. Just try it. Blah, 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 blah. Fail. When the voice or the feeling says, this isn't the right choice for you. This is not the right choice for you. That's a big sign. This is not the right choice for you. Please do not do this. Person, Carrie, you. Whoa, listen. I'm telling me, guys, I'm not just saying this to you. I'm telling me, I'm reiterating, I'm reminding myself to just pay attention, Care. Because it just leads you down the wrong route in life. And it doesn't always mean like, oh, like now I'm going to be a prostitute or something. It just means it's taking you off track when something was telling you that that's not the right way to go. It's derailing you a bit, just a little bit. And a little bit can be a lot, And keep in mind, a lot of this info is science-based, like based on physiological reactions that our bodies actually go through. So when we say gut instinct, it's because a lot happens to us in the stomach when we're scared, when we're worried, when we're nervous. That gut reaction is instinctual. Stomach-brain connection, right? So it's physiological for sure. Wow. Sixth sense. Again, I'm not a doctor, obviously. Yeah, Care, we know you're not a doctor. Otherwise, you'd be a doctor. This comes from lifehack.org. This next little bit of info, lifehack.org. I love it. Check it out. This one's about first impressions. They say first impressions, trust them. And it's not the first impression like they were dressed nice or they did all the right things, but how did you feel in the situation? That first impression. I mean, you don't even have to be in their physical presence. Or how did you feel at the moment? That's the first impression. The spidey sense, again, I call it. When someone or something is just off. OFF off. And then we go, oh, but he's so charming, or he's got a great job, or she's so strong and amazing, or that sounds like an incredible trip. Like it all kind of looks good, I guess. But the first impression is how you feel inside, even if it's deep down. We know what that feels like. Oh, something's a bit off. I can't put my finger on it, but oh, look at his smile. Blah, 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 blah. Something is just a bit off. How about this one? When you want something, you're trying to achieve something, and then you somehow get distracted because somebody else holds a shiny ball in front of you. And although you know that that's not actually what you want, it's shiny enough to attract you. And that's when you go, could be a job, could be a person, whatever. But inside that feeling of no, don't get distracted. That's not what no. That's the thing I'm talking about too. About, that's not what you want, but it's shiny enough that it's kind of taking you off track. That's also an instinct. Listen to that, pay attention to that, because that's happened to me so many times where I've often gone off my own path to try something that seems also just as good, but still not my own path. My intention was to stick to my path. But because I saw, like an ice cream stand, I walked over. No. And even though I knew I shouldn't. So from now on, I'm never going to do that. Like, honest to God, I'm sticking to the road. I'm sticking to my main highway here. I'm sticking in my lane, and only will pull over to the side if I've got some trash to throw out, When you're on the right path in life, in a relationship, in a career, in anything, in health, and you're feeling good, you're feeling the flow, the minute you change a little something or something comes into your life and it shifts you, you know what I mean? And it feels a little bit off, that's the sign. That's the gut saying, nope. So pay attention to that. I'm telling myself this as I speak. When it just interrupts the flow of perfection, or not even perfection, just feeling good, that is your gut saying, whoa, stay on course. Don't look, don't check the other lane. Just stay in your lane, I think. That's what I've been doing my whole life. I've been constantly kind of shifting gears a lot and shifting lanes a lot. When I got to stay in one lane, I'm shifting lanes always to test the waters. When really, I think, I should just stay in the lane that I believe in. And that just goes with sort of not a self-worth thing, but a trusting yourself. And with age, I'm starting to trust myself more and more. And I don't know if that's where you are, but if you're like me, you've been switching lanes, like on 8-lane highways. I'm talking big highways, like the 401 in Toronto, and keep going from lane to lane. Meanwhile, just pick that one lane and stick to it. And try not to be distracted by the shiny object or the ice cream stand, if you will. So that feeling, so I'm going to say right now, without saying too much, I feel like from now on, I am staying in my frickin' lane. When in your life have you gone with your instinct, gone with your gut, and it worked out great? You've had those times too, right? Doesn't that feel great? You're like, yep. And that person too in life when things always work out for them and you say, hey man, like, hey George, like, wow, how did you know? I don't know, I just went with my gut. Damn it. I got to do that more. Here's one time when I went with my instinct, okay? This was, I'll leave you with this, at Paris, 2016. I was there for an Airbnb conference, the Global Airbnb Conference. Yes, I wanted to get into that while I was doing radio too. So go to the conference. I get to the train station downtown, and then I was going to walk home. That's cool. So I started to walk home, and then I was going to stop. It was a beautiful night in Paris. But I thought, and people were on cafes and it was really fun. Of course, I'm there by myself. I usually am in Paris by myself. But I decided I would just keep going home. I said, I got to get home. I'm not stopping. And it was a long walk too. So anyway, I get home and then I go to bed. I didn't do anything that night, like nothing. Normally I would. It's Paris, man. But so anyway, I go home and I wake up in the morning and I've got like 20 messages from people back home and in Toronto and friends and family. And they're wondering if I'm okay. Oh my God, I'm okay. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So then I find out that the attacks had happened that night. And yeah, I was like, wow. And I didn't even know. Sure enough, I went outside and everywhere it's just quiet. And the newspapers have on some of the headlines with the attacks. And I'm not too far from there, guys. I'm not too far where I was staying. I was not too far from there at all. I had walked through, like, near the area. So I don't know what that was, but I came straight home and went to bed. And maybe that was instinct. And I have to think it was because it was, I normally would have gone out and I don't know why. Something inside me said, just go home, walk home, get home, go to bed. That's it. So who knows? Maybe, that served me well that time. Anyway, I hope, I don't know if this helped you at all, but I guess it was to remind you that there is this thing called gut and instinct, and we should pay attention to it because it will save your ass sometimes, a lot of the time. And it will also waste less of your time in life. Keep you on track, keep you in the lane. I got to keep in my lane now from now on, and not waste other people's time as well, because what you do affects others as well. So that's all I want to say. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you again another time. Bye bye. Mwah!